Welcome back to Unsolved Crimes. This is Frankie James. This is Lila.
And this is Chloe Hanshoe. Today's episode is on the Burger Chef murders.
Starting at the very beginning. 4 kids, Ruth Shelton, Daniel Davis, Mark Flemons, and Jane Freight, were working their after-school job at the Burger Chef in Speedway, Indiana. Ruth Shelton was a 17-year-old girl with wavy ginger hair, brown eyes, and glasses. She had an interest in computer sciences and won a full scholarship to Indiana State.
Daniel Davis was a 16-year-old honor-roll student with dirty blonde, short hair. He was interested in aviation and was prepared to go into the Air Force right out of high school. He was supposed to be the valedictorian of the school.
Jane Frey, at the age of 20, with frizzy brown hair and brown eyes, was the assistant manager of Burger Chef. Before the incident, she was about to be promoted to manager.
If you have any information about this case, please call the Marion County Sheriff's Department at 317-327-1700. I repeat, 317-327-1700.
Ready, first-time listeners, the purpose of our podcast is to spread awareness of crimes that remain unsolved, to dig up any information that will help the cases.
Burger Chef murder suspects held.
Police baffled by kidnappings. Jailed man waits to speak the Burger Chef case.
4 Speedway kidnapping victims found dead in wooded area. Young Speedway murder victim.
They had spoken to the kids' parents, and they had all said that they had not heard from their children since the night before.
It's so horrible what happened to Daniel. He was such a good kid. He had such a big life ahead of him.
Back to our story.
Brian Crimp arrives at Burger Chef a little after 12 a.m. He had just missed the robbery. The police are called, and hours later, they arrive, take no pictures, and clean the scene. The police didn't seem to care or reply to Brian's missing persons report. The investigators are pretty sure they knew who murdered the employees, but the evidence that was in the restaurant was wiped clean. The loss of evidence caused them to not be able to accuse and convict the murderer. In the restaurant, when he got there, Brian called out to see if there was anyone there, and he saw no response, just silence. The register drawers were strewn on the floor and empty. He ran to the manager's office to see if they were there, if it was robbed, and it was empty, but ransacked. He notices Ruth's jacket was there, and it was cold outside. She wouldn't leave without that jacket. He called 911, and the officers were not very concerned about the incident. That no evidence was collected. Robert, the store manager, said that he knew the kids and they trusted them to close up, and that the kids wouldn't just rob the store and leave without their purses and coats. That didn't get much priority for the press or police. The bombings going on at this time also distracted from this case. 2 months prior, Ruth had called the police after she saw a car speeding through the parking lot after a bombing. Police never interviewed her after the call. The bodies are found with Jane stabbed with a hunting knife with the blade still in her chest, Daniel suffocated in his own blood after being beaten with a chain, and Ruth and Mark were both shot by a .38 caliber gun. They were found in a rural area of Johnson County, 20 miles south of Speedway. One of the bodies was moved before the coroners arrived, complicating the case.
3 bullet casings from the gun used to shoot Ruth and Mark were found in Donald Forrester's ex-wife's septic tank. Donald claims to know nothing of the bullets, although his ex-wife thinks about it. She saw him flush them down the toilet. I'm Mel Winsley from the Marion County Sheriff's Department. I took this case to provide closure for the good people of Speedway. I remember interviewing Donald Forrester. He showed me where the bodies were. We never released information of where they were to the public, so it's weird that he knew where they were. He claimed that I was also in an interview with his ex-wife. She claimed that he had flushed 38 caliber casings down the toilet. We also found palm prints on Jane Freight's car. However, we couldn't match the prints for too many people in Speedway. I really appreciate this chance to be on your podcast. Thanks for inviting me. I hope you bring closure to this case.
Two of the main suspects in the Burger Chef case are what are called the Greenwood suspects. They consist of Brett Kimberlin, who had a clean-shaven face and a bulky body, and one whose name is not released to the press. These two had been convicted before of a similar crime, and the descriptions match those of reports seen in the area. However, these two could not have been the perpetrators of this case because they were in jail for a similar crime at the time.
Hello, my name is Virgil Van de Grish. I'll be the detective interviewing you on the Burger Chef letters. Where were you on the night of November 17, 1978?
I was at home. I had a family emergency, and I couldn't make my shift that night.
Okay, I see. Okay, how did you feel when you discovered that Daniel Davis was murdered because you didn't show up?
Nobody was really that afraid, but for me at least, it was beyond scary. I had worked the late shift at the Speedway Burger Chef almost every night, and I was actually on the crew with Fright, Flemington, Shelton, but I quit my job a week or so before the crime, but my last shift was supposed to be that night. I think Daniel took my place. There's no question I would have been there. That was my shift.
Yeah. So, thank you for cooperating. The prime suspect, Donald Forrester, died of cancer in jail in 2006. He was convicted for killing another person. He said he felt... Wait. He had previously given a confession in 94 and now retracted that confession. He said he felt pressured by the police department to confess. Therefore, this case will remain unsolved forever.
I thank you for listening.
Please like and subscribe. The prime suspect, Donald Forrester, died of cancer in jail in 2006. He was convicted for killing another person. This case will remain unsolved forever.
I thank you for listening.
Please like and subscribe.